We're part of a breakaway twosome with Manchester United, and we're already 8 points clear of everyone behind the two of us, and we're not even at the halfway point of the season yet. Today, we play them to try and sort of assert some dominance in our little two-team league. Hello and welcome to Club 6, part 34 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Stoke and then away against Manchester United, both in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, it's only a sea of green. I would have shown you us qualifying for the Champions League knockout rounds, but it happened a game earlier than I expected it to. In fact, we've scored a lot of goals recently. If you look back through these goals, 5-3 against Chelsea, which you saw, then a 5-0 against Brighton, 5-1 against Salzburg, which is when we qualified for the knockout rounds of the Champions League, 7-0 against Newcastle, and then 7 goals again in the next game, 7-1 against Hoffenheim, and then a boring old 3-0 against Huddersfield. We are scoring a lot of goals. They haven't done the Champions League draw yet. I thought that had happened. Apparently that hasn't happened. You might even see that on today's episode. But first up, we have Stoke. And this is the team that we're putting out there for that game. We've got Weiss in goal, a back four of Martelot, Felipe, Vitali and Jamie, with Davidson, David and Henrique in midfield, and Schaefer in behind Dolberg and Pingu. Let's get into the game. Dolberg and Pingu are having the season of their lives. Look at these average ratings from these two. Dolberg is a little old man now, but he's still averaging over an 8, scoring goals for fun. He's having the best season of his career, probably because he's finally, after 11 seasons at Arsenal, playing in a really, really good Arsenal team that are dominating pretty much everyone we play. The big test is going to be Manchester United in the next match, which presumably means we're going to lose this one against Stoke first, just to get us ready for it. And there you go, 5 minutes in and Pingu's injured. This is how the wheels come off. For goodness sake. At least we get to have a proper look at Pinero. We spent £65 million on him in the summer, and not only have you not really had a proper look at him yet, I've not really had a proper look at him yet, because I can't bring myself to take either Pingu or Dolberg out of the team. They've been fit for the longest they've ever been fit for in their careers, which has been another big thing this season. The fact that they have stayed fit for the first 3 months of it is why we've looked so good. But now, you know what Pingu's like. This will be a month out now. Probably joined by Dolberg at some point in the second half, and we'll end up with Pinero and Willis up front for the Man United game and wonder why we end up losing it. But it's a good opportunity to see if Pinero's any good. This is a weird free kick. It's been worked brilliantly. I mean, as a tracksuit manager myself, you know that I've been working on the training ground to work this goal out. I mean, look at this. This is stunning stuff. What a goal. Good work, Coach Kev. What county is the training ground in? Goodness me, it was a good goal though. Jordan Davidson being linked with moves to Barcelona and Real Madrid in January. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode, he got the graduation to world-class player. He is now considered a world-class player on his current ability. And he is good, isn't he? He's head and shoulders above the rest of our midfield, and we've got a good midfield. He's gone from being sort of second fiddle to Leshy, who was the one Barcelona were after a year ago, to Leshy doesn't always play because David and Davidson and Henrique are all very, very good. I struggle to fit Leshy in because he can only really play as a deep line playmaker, and Junior David's very good at that as well, so got to play David sometimes. But Davidson and Schaefer, I think, are probably the two best players at the club, despite the fact that Dolberg and Pingu are having such a good season. Davidson and Schaefer, when they're on form, they are incredible. Dolberg's not having the best of games, so we'll bring Ben Willis on. Which way round do we play these two? I don't think these two have ever played together before. Willis doesn't seem to want to be able to do anything. What are you, Ben Willis? You were supposed to be the new Liam Wells. You're a poacher. Well, I ain't playing with a poacher. What do you think this is? So we'll play you that way round, and you'll like it. I don't know why I clicked back onto that screen. Just the one substitution for now is fine, because we already made that very early substitution with Pinero coming on for Pingu. Pinero with the free kick. Nothing. Stoke haven't even had a shot yet. They've had less than 40% possession and no shots. How are we only 1-0 up? This is what happens when we don't have our two strikers looking awesome. We'll take off Vitali and bring on Lofredo, who we signed in the summer for like 25 million quid. He's the young centre-back, so Herford not even on the bench today. But Lofredo's the young one, who we have been trying to get a little bit of game time for. Now he's fit. He started the season injured. If we just won a penalty, we have, with 5 minutes to go, Junior David to step up and take a penalty. Show why you're in the team ahead of Leshy, Junior. Come on now. And he does. 2-0 to Arsenal. As it stands right now, then, we have gone back to the top of the league, 1 point ahead of Manchester United, and we play them next. Admittedly, we are playing them at their place, potentially without Pingu, but the form we're in, you've got to back us. And if we do go there and pick up a win, not only will we be 11 points away from third place, like we are at the moment, but we'll also be 4 points ahead of Manchester United and looking good for a romp towards the title in the second half of the season. The third goal has gone in as well. Schaefer with the shot. It's a wicked deflection. And Stoke have held on for a long time, but in the end, our overwhelming quality has just been too much for them. And that is a massive deflection. I can see why they've not given that to Schaefer. We're getting a lot of luck go our way at the moment, but, you know, they say you make your own luck. We've had 65% of the possession and Stoke haven't had a shot. So could you really say we're lucky to be winning this game 3-0? Or are Stoke lucky that we didn't put 7 past them like we did against Newcastle and Hoffenheim? Here they go. They're going to have their shot right at the death. 94 minutes on the clock. They have their shot and they miss. And that should be that. Vice with the goal kick. And there is your final whistle. No? Really? Why? I mean, I don't mind if we go and score a fourth. It just seems unnecessary. No one. The outcome of this game isn't changing. There we go. Splendid stuff. Good performance. Hopefully we can have a repeat of that against Manchester United. And of course, Pingu is now out for the next 6 weeks with broken ribs. Oh, Pingu. Pingu. As promised, here's the Champions League first knockout round draw. All the big teams still in there. We are seeded, though. Top seeds. Marvellous stuff. Let's just get into it, shall we? So, Leverkusen versus Monaco. Barcelona versus Bayern Munich. Which one of them wasn't a top seed? That's mad. Galatasaray versus Leipzig. So, I guess Barcelona weren't a top seed because I think it's the top seeds on the right-hand side, is it? So it does a unseeded. I mean, look at the other two. To be fair, they're all pretty good at this stage. This is a strong Champions League this year. Juventus, Real Madrid. It's all English teams left in the top seeds now. Marseille, Tottenham, Benfica, Man United. So it's going to be either Inter or Celtic. Obviously, we'd rather have Celtic in this scenario. Celtic, go on then. See if it still works. Arsenal. I mean, try it in your own Champions League draws. It works every time. So 2 changes for the Manchester United game. Then Pinero comes in for the injured Pingu. And we've also brought Leshy back into the midfield. David will move across to Mazzala. Henrique dropping down to the bench. Difficult call, but Leshy is our other world-class midfielder, according to all the criteria. So it makes sense to bring him back in for the big game. Because remember, last time we were away against Manchester United was towards the end of last season. They beat us 5-0. And we basically thought that was the day our title hopes ended. The fact that it all went a little bit crazy from there was more to do with the fact it was a crazy season than any particular quality on our part, I think. We were lucky to win the league last year. I'm now man enough to say it, but hopefully it won't come down to luck this year because we're going to come here today and we're going to put 7 past them the way we did against Newcastle. I hope. Oh, wowzers. I thought we were going to grab an early goal from Dolberg. It is a big risk coming here and doing the 4-3-1-2 on control. I know I'm going to get lots of heat down in the comments if it goes wrong again, but I would always point you back to the fact that we won the league last year doing it. So sometimes you get smashed. We're not trying to go invincible. As nice as it would be, we're not aiming for an invincible season. We're aiming for a relatively straightforward league season and a Champions League push. So I'm not that bothered if we lose today. I'm not that bothered if we finish second in the Premier League. And we should, I mean, even with the early work we've done, we should be comfortable for a second place finish at least. And if we finish second in the Premier League this year and win the Champions League, then that's job done as far as I'm concerned. I don't need to win the Premier League a second time. I've done that now. Been there, done that. Let's go in the Champions League. United just testing, just having a little test to see where the goal is. Our keeper's got it covered, but they're just having a little look. All right, goal's normal size. Just checking it wasn't slightly bigger than usual. Schaefer with the corner now towards Leshy, who can't get there. And we don't have anyone hovering, taking care of Marcus Rashford, so he's now running at us. But Jamie, proving that he has turned into a Premier League right-back now, just takes it off him. And Vice, a little bit riskily, finds Felipe to Davidson, Schaefer, Pinero. Pingu would have scored. Pingu wouldn't have scored. Pingu doesn't score chances like that. Pingu scores when you don't expect him to, which means he might pop up with a goal today because we all expect him to not score at all because he's not playing. But this might be the ideal opportunity for him to prove that he always scores when you don't expect him to. Let's not have a United goal just before half-time. We've got like 40 seconds to head up the other end and break on him. It's 2-on-2. Schaefer, we've got a man over in the middle, and it's Kasper Dolberg finds David, who misses. That is a big, big miss from Junior David. I don't know why Dolberg doesn't just bury it in the position he was in there. It was a tighter angle, and David was under more pressure. I don't know what the logic in squaring it to David was. We have been all over United in that first half. 3 clear-cut chances to their none. We've had more possession. We've just been the better team. But the one thing that really sticks out on those stats is we've had 10 shots and only one of them is on target. So we've been our own worst enemy. We're playing well, but not finishing our opportunities. And that is going to leave us wide open to a sucker punch from Man United when they just head up the other end and be a little bit more ruthless than we are. The ball is cleared towards Pinheiro, but it wasn't close enough towards him to actually be useful. And the highlight drifts away. Rashford's picked up a knock for Man United. They've already had to take off Dembele. They've still got some... they must have quite an ageing team now with some of the players they've got in there. Dembele and Rashford must both be getting on a bit. Right, let's make some changes. Pinheiro has been a flop. Salcedo, let's get him on. Playing against his former club. We'll play him as the advance forward. We haven't seen anything really of Eddie Salcedo this season, so hopefully this is his opportunity to remind us that he exists. Henrique comes on for Junior David as well. It was a bit of a coin toss between those two pre-match, and after David's missed that big chance and he's tired, it makes sense to bring Henrique on for the last 20 minutes just for a little bit more midfield energy. 10 minutes to go. Let's make another substitution. Kasper Dolberg is having a disastrous game, but we don't have a striker on the bench. We don't really have any game changers on the bench at all. I think what I might do is take off Martelot and bring on Alex, and we'll just stick Felipe out at left back because Martelot's tired and Felipe can play left back quite comfortably. This is where Jake Herford would have been handy on the bench. Corner comes in, and now United have got the chance to break on us, but Jamie's there to cover in. Jamie's had a very good game. Leshy picks it up deep. Schaefer to Davidson. Slots it back through to Schaefer. That's a foul? Surely, apparently not. I would take a draw at this point, quite happily, even though a draw would be a mugging. I just feel like there's a late Man United goal coming, and this is probably it. It is it. With 10 minutes left, completely against the run of play. The stats show we're being mugged, but Man United have gone 1-0 up, and now we need to find a goal from somewhere, and this is where it would be really handy for us to have Pingu knocking around. They've just been more clinical than us. They've had a couple of chances and they've took one of them away. We've had a bundle of chances and we've missed most of them. And the big miss, I don't know what Dolberg was thinking when he squared it to Junior David. That was a big moment. Dolberg just seemed to bottle it, and David wasn't expecting it. And the expectation on David, I don't think you would have expected him to score there because of the angle and the pressure that he was under. But Dolberg, if we end up losing everything this season, it will all come back to that moment, that decision from Kasper Dolberg. And now they're cutting through us again, and Rashford's scored. No, he hasn't. Jamie, just desperate goal line clearance. I say again, Jamie has had a good game today. I like Jamie as a right back. But we are running out of time to grab an equaliser now. It is Jamie. Across to Davidson, who plays it over the top to Dolberg. A chance to redeem himself. Crosses into Salcedo, but their keeper just sort of plucks it off of his head. Eddie Salcedo, who's never going to be the man who's going to dominantly win a header in that kind of position. He's a winger who we've been playing out of position for a year and a half. He isn't a centre-forward who's going to nod in chances like that. Watch him score a header in the 90th minute now, and I'll love it when he does. Prove me wrong, Eddie. And it's United again. Ever since their goal, it's been a different game. They are completely in control now, but it is Salcedo with the chance to grab the equaliser, and he misses. Hit it far too early. I don't know why he just didn't keep on running. He was quicker than that defender. Rashford is now big boy injured, but we've got 5 minutes of added time. There is still time for us to get back into this game. However, to be able to do that, we need the football. Dolberg to Leshy to Schaefer. We're sloppy today. I don't know why we're being so sloppy. I do feel hard done by looking at those stats, but at least we're not losing 5-0 this time like we did last year. That's progress. It would be even more progress if we could grab an equaliser at some point in the next 4.5 minutes. But it's United running at us again on the counter-attack, and Weiss made a bit of a meal of that. It looked like it should have been a fairly bread and butter save, but absolutely it was a TV save he did there, and it upsets me that he's doing that at this point in such a big game. And United have another corner. We're not going to grab an equaliser if they're camped out in our penalty area. They're scoring a goal has completely woken them up, and they get a third consecutive corner. This is a real waste of these 5 minutes added on, just letting Man United have corner practice. And can we get it clear this time? Dolberg lumps it forward, but there's nobody there. Salcedo's not running for it. I don't even know who that little bald fella was who was running for it. But either way, it's too late. We're not going to grab an equaliser now. It's frustrating. They're just not letting us have the ball back. Can we have the ball, please? Oh, thank you. Too late to do anything with it now, and we give it straight back. We've been so sloppy. The one thing going in our favour is the fact we are still only 2 points behind United. We're still 7 points clear of West Ham, who are in third place. So the Premier League should take care of itself. Whether we win it or not, we're not going to get sacked for a Premier League performance this year. And our focus this season is the Champions League. So let's put that as the silver lining. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.